How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Unbox Overload, where we're gonna take a look at the Corsair K55 Core budget gaming keyboard. Now, if you are new to the channel, I did previously actually have a channel called We Do Tech. I sold it, took a bit of a break, but now I'm back, ready to go again and get into all of the latest tech products. But now, compared to the previous channel, I am making a bit of changes for the new channel. So this is going to be the unboxing channel, where I'm gonna get like my first impressions on the product, see how it is, if it's actually worth doing a review on. I'm sure this one will be, but I'm just gonna make sure. But anyway, get my first impressions, and then later on I do the full review on the main channels, either going to be Gaming Overload, which is going to be more for peripherals, gaming gear, consoles, stuff like that, setup builds later on as well, and then a Hardware Overload, where I'm gonna go over all of the internal components for PCs, do the benchmarks, everything, see how every component actually performs. And then later on, I'll probably have some other channels as well. Tech Overload, Cooking Overload, maybe not that one yet. But anyway, let's quickly go over the K55 Core here and see how it is. Now, I do believe that I actually did a review on the K55 previously, or maybe it was a K57, I'm not exactly too sure, on the older channel, but I'm really looking forward to seeing how they stack up. And it does look pretty nice. Now, I have the website open here in front of me, and it seems like there's a bunch of different versions for the K55 here. So you have the K55 Core RGB, which is this one, which you have in black and then also in a silver color scheme. But you also have the K55 Pro Lite, then you have the K55 Pro, and then also the K55 Pro XT. So a bunch of different models that you can actually choose, and then ranging in pricing from like $40 for the K55 Core here, all the way up to $80 for the Pro XT. Now, unfortunately, I don't have those with me to actually compare, but maybe later on we will, and maybe for some of the other keyboards that they also sent over, yeah, we're gonna take a look at these as well. I will be able to do some comparisons of those two against each other, and I also do have a K70 Pro as well that I'll see how they perform. But anyway, let's quickly open it up and see what we get inside. First off, get the knife out. Now again, the pricing for this keyboard is $40, so that's really cheap. I believe in Rand for here in South Africa, it's about 850 Rand, so very, very affordable. But now, of course, with that, you don't really get, there we go, you don't get a full mechanical keyboard. So these are going to be membrane switches. So let's quickly open it up. Nice wrapping around that, and there we go. All right, so nothing else underneath here, so we'll leave that. I saw that on the other ones, the K55 Pro and the Pro XT, you actually get a palm rest included. So unfortunately for the Core here, you do not. All right, so there we go, as you guys can see. Now, it's nice and bright, but it's not perky RGB backlit. I believe it's only the Pro XT that's perky, but zoning, it's honestly fine. Usually I just leave it on either a static color or like white, or I just leave it on like rainbow wave or whatever. But now let's quickly just go over the build quality first and see what we get. Now, not bad at all. Minimum flex to the body. Doesn't feel like cheap plastic. It's actually pretty solid, so I'm happy about that. Some of the keyboards can feel very, very plasticky. This is actually pretty decent. Now, it's also pretty hefty, I will say, for a membrane keyboard. But it just adds towards the more premium feel. If it's a really light keyboard, sometimes it just feels cheap. So I'd rather take heavier than just light, but hopefully they also didn't just like pop in some metal plate here for no reason to make it feel more premium. Underneath you get a nice little like texture layout here with the Corsair logo, pretty nice. You don't get any cable raceways as the cable is fixed. You have two flip-up keyboard feet with a single set of elevation. You have your rubber pads here in the corners, so we can see how it's doing. It's actually pretty good as well. Let's put it here in front. Single finger press. Very, very good. Rubber pads. Let's flip it out. It's same. It's okay. It's okay. I'm doing a lot more force than you would usually do. So build quality wise, pretty good. As for the keycaps, they're very smooth. They don't really have a texture on them. They have a bit of a rubberized feel to them, but it's very smooth. So some people like a bit more texture towards their ABS plastic keycaps. Some do not, so it's up to you what you personally like. But yeah, it is smooth. The font's also good. The RGB does also shine through nice and clearly between the fonts. Now, like I mentioned before, this is not a mechanical keyboard, it's membrane, so you can't pop off any of the keys really, or you can, but it's not going to be worth it. But let's quickly go over the switches and see how they feel. Now, I also don't believe these are the mechanical switches, they are just membranes. But now let's quickly try it out and see what I think. So of course, it's relatively silent. It's not like the membrane or hybrid mechanical switches. I'm just like typing like crazy here. I'm not really typing anything. But yeah, it's not like the mechanical switches, which has like more of a tactile bump to them. These ones are just the mushy membrane switches. It's nice and silent. Space is pretty silent. Enter as well, backspace. So yeah, pretty decent. I don't really have any complaints so far. The spacing between each of the keys are decent as well. Unfortunately, I don't have currently a other membrane keyboard with me. I'll have to get one later on. Maybe for like the full review, we'll be able to do like a comparison and just get like a feel between this brand's membranes and Corsair's membranes, if there's actually a difference. I don't think I've actually tested that before, so it'll be interesting to see this brand's membrane switches feel better than this brand, or is it exactly the same? I haven't tested. Looking forward to trying it out. Now here on the sides, you do have your media control. So you have your volume up, volume down, you have your mute, you play in a pause, you have your keyboard lock, or is it just a Windows lock key as well? And then you have your brightness button. Let's quickly see how many levels of brightness. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so quickly, if you just want to adjust some of the RGB, you do have your Fn key and then letter 1, letter 2, letter 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so it looks like it only goes to 5. 5 being your static color, so there's your pink, there's a white. Now, usually white has more of a blue tint to it. It's the same case here, but it's actually not too bad. Now, I will say on the camera, it does look a bit more white than it really is. It does have a bit of a blue tint to it, but again, not bad at all. And then, yeah, you have yours, I think, 7 colors. Now, for 4, you have more of just a rainbow wave. Again, if you want to change the color, I believe you can. All right, not for this one. So this is just going to wave in and out between the different colors. 3, it's just a color cycle effect. Not going to be able to change the colors. For 2, this is just cycling in and out between different colors, and then your rainbow wave for 1. Now, as for the RGB zones, usually what I've seen is that you only get about 7, so sometimes the RGB flow, especially for the rainbow wave effect here, it stutters like between the different zones. So for the colors, which doesn't always look the best. But for the core here, you actually get 10 different zones, so it helps to produce a lot more smoother effect. As you guys can see, it doesn't really look like there is a different zones. It's very smooth. All right, so that is pretty much it for my quick look at the Corsair K55 Core. So again, you did have 4 different models, this one being the cheapest one at $40 or 850 Rand. And I have to say, for the price point so far, it actually feels pretty decent. No complaints as of yet, but I'll try it out for a bit and then maybe even compare it to some other more budget mechanical keyboards, because there are some that is in the $50 price range. So we'll see how they compare. So would you rather go for a membrane or like a cheap mechanical? But we'll see. All right, so that's pretty much it for my look at the K55 Core here. I'm actually doing this outro right after I reviewed or unboxed all of the other keyboards as well. So yeah, so it was quite a bit of an unboxing with a bunch of different ones. So if you want to see these unboxings as well, the K70, this is the K70 Core. That one was the K70 Pro TKL, also TKL. Those ones will be linked in the video description, and then of course the full review for both of those, and then also this one will be on the main channel, Gaming Overload, also linked in the video description. So a big shout out to Corsair for sending all of the keyboards over for our unboxing, also for the full review. And if you guys enjoyed it, please like, share, subscribe, and comment like always, and I'll check all of you guys next time. Cheers, guys.